Welcome everybody, it's Selim. Today they dropped the new trailer for Zetsubou no Shima, and my gosh, it looks pretty darn interesting. So in this video, I'm not actually going to be playing the actual trailer because I don't want to be hit with copyright issues and all that good stuff. So I'll have a link to it down in the description, and I recommend you go watch that, then come back over here for we can do the breakdown. So without further delay, let's get into it. Now, right away, we got this image of Division 9's logo, and personally, I thought they could have done a better job at it, but regardless, it looks pretty cool. In the background from what is actually being shown, Division 9 logo is actually the end of the intro cutscene that we got a couple weeks back. Well, maybe, I think 2 weeks ago? I don't know, it doesn't matter. Moving on, we see this area that looks like to be maybe the main place of the map, or maybe it's just maybe the spawn room or something like that. We can't be sure right now, but this looks pretty creepy. That tree, I don't know, I'm probably going to mention those trees multiple times in this video, but that tree looks pretty creepy. But after we get this really interesting looking place. Now, if you look at this place, it's kind of, to me, it looks like somewhere where we're going to be like maybe upgrading the wonder weapon inside this area, because they are different colors, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be Apothicon writing right here. I'm almost 100% sure that this is, excuse me, not Apothicon, Keeper. I know this is Keeper writing, not Apothicon. Excuse me, forgive me for calling it Apothicon. This is Keeper writing on both of these things, and on both these pillars, and also I can imagine this writing to be on the other two pillars in the back too. We just can't see it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and I think this is going to be where we're going to be upgrading our weapons or something like that. Not our weapons, but like the wonder weapon inside this map. Next, we see this images of these people that look like they've been tested on and maybe even fused with plants, and I have no idea, because if you guys remember back a couple, I don't know, maybe a week ago, Activision actually, they released this thing kind of giving kind of a synopsis of the map, and they said that there's just these experiments with humans, plants, and animals, and then in the interview with Jason Blundell, he said there are going to be perversions of nature, so it kind of looks like they may have fused the humans with these plants, which is kind of disturbing. But besides that, just to look in the background, you can just like see the Division 9 logo again, but to the left side, or if I may have flipped this over to the right side, you'll see maybe those things called a wall gun. My gosh, completely slipped my mind. Moving on, we see this zombie, and my gosh, what the heck, that thing looks like the devil. And nothing really to say about it, so let's move on to the next one. We see these zombies, then we get a zoom up on them, but what I want to make note of is actually before we zoom up on them, you can actually see this Japanese writing on the walls. I'm pretty sure that's just going to be how to navigate the different places through the map. And the main thing I want to actually draw your attention to is these kind of electrical polling in the background and this electrical line right here. Now, if you watch it, let me zoom up on it and play for you guys back and forth, and you can see this kind of this blue-white thing going across it. Probably electricity. I don't know, though. It's just moving back and forth. Not sure if that has anything to do with anything, but that's just something I wanted to make note of. Next, we see this zombie jumping down, and just cool enough, but one thing I do want to make note of is because we haven't seen it before, but we're going to see a lot of it now. Actually, we did see in the last one, but anyways, we can see this little green glowing thing all the way to the left, and forgive me if it's to the right, because I might flip this over for copyright reasons. Anyways, you can see this glowing green thing, and this and I'm pretty sure is going to be something maybe relatable to the main Easter egg possible, but again, there's just so many of these throughout this trailer. There's probably going to be even more into the actual game. Not sure what they can actually be, because we see them all over this trailer, and probably in the in-game is going to be even more than what we see now. Next, we see our characters running through this area. There's not really much to say about it, except I did notice one thing. If you look at these little yellow glowing dots that are here, if you pay attention, they fade away and fade in. And just, it's something I want to make note of, because we had something similar to this inside the Eisendrache, the zero gravity room. We had these glowing things like that, except they were blue, and it just made the zero gravity. So just, maybe it could be something similar, maybe just some fireflies or something. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. It's probably just fireflies. Next, moving on, we actually see this super interesting thing. I can't really explain what's happening. It looks like these vines are going back with this electric pulse going through them, and it's just pulling them back. and we can't be sure if that is actually a door that they're opening, maybe a trap, could be something else. I'm not sure. Tell me what you guys think it is. Moving on, we just see some of our characters fighting zombies, but why I want to stop at this frame, again, you can see at the top, you can kind of see electrical pole, like the electrical line kind of saying electricity to the other one. And also the main thing why I want to stop here again is that we see Nikolai using the MX Garand, which is actually a supply drop weapon inside multiplayer, but it looks like it's going to become available for everybody inside zombies. Hopefully it's available in all maps, not just in Zetsubou no Shima. Bring it to all the maps, just like, I don't know if it'd be useful inside, because it doesn't seem like a very powerful gun to be using in zombies. It's a single shot, if you guys don't know, single shot assault rifle, but I don't know. Anyways, you can see the Bowie knives in the background. Just wanted to point that out. Nothing special. And we see these frames again of them shooting, just all their characters there shooting. And we can see these green lights. I can't really say at all what those are going to be, because I just can't really see what's happening. Next, we see this super interesting thing, this couple frames right here. We see these, it looks like spider webs all over the place, and there's this blue glow. I'm not too sure what it is. Probably, maybe it looks to me as element 115 or 115, and that's just what I think it is. And since it's pretty close to a spider web, it kind of might make these spiders pretty demented. And also we can see these very large things wrapped up in spider webs that are probably humans, which is, again, pretty disturbing. Next, we see this pod kind of moving up, which I will come back to in a little bit, but just keep note of how it comes up. Next, we just see the logo for the map, I guess you would call it, just appear on screen. And I kind of froze a frame right here when I was looking through it, tried to look for anything special. Couldn't really find it. I'm not sure if this is a real part of the map or exactly what it is. I can't be exactly sure because obviously we don't have the map, but it looks like a playable area if you ask me. Now returning to those pods, I want look at these two frames back to back. Now at first we can see the pod with the Division 9 symbol, and we also to the left, or forgive me if it's to the right. If I do flip it over again, there's this kind of blue glow over there. I'm not too sure if it's important or anything, but anyways, drawing our focus back to this pod. Now, people were saying maybe the pods are similar to the ones in Shadows of Evil that would get weapons and stuff out of, power up, just things like that out of them. But personally, I think they're going to be something you actually possibly, not exactly, but kind of feed zombies to. Like similar to the dogs or the dragons from the Eisendrache. Now, anyways, drawing your attention back to what's actually happening on screen, we know that there's multiple of them because we saw one earlier inside the trailer, the one I told you keep a note of in your mind. And we see this one with this walking zombie walking right next to you. Next, we swap over to a different one because remember there was that Division 9 symbol in the background, and now there's just not that, and it looks like there's a crawler zombie getting eaten by it pretty much because you can tell it's a crawler by looking at its eyes. Its eyes are still glowing, and it does not look like a dead zombie, so this might actually be different from the where they call dragons inside the Eisendrache because you had to kill the zombie for it to eat it. Maybe you have to make them crawlers, which is kind of annoying if you have to make them crawlers, but anyways, we know there are three for a fact. And we can also see these Japanese writing on the other side of it to make sure, to make even more note of that this is a different pod area. Next, we see Takeo, I believe, pulling the Argus out of the mystery box. And of course, that's a sucky gun, but he's trying to make it look cool. But what I want to make you draw your attention to is look at that plane in the background and look how foggy it is. That looks like the unplayable area to me, and look how foggy it is. Remember, there is a map that had this foggy outside of the area, and it was Shinonuma, and I'm so happy it looks so much like it, and it just looks so cool to me. Not sure if that plane is going to have anything to do with it, because I'll show you why I might think it might have to do in a second. But next, there's this small thing I want to point out, is that we see Richthofen holding the Gore gun, I believe, which is an awful gun. Again, trying to make something look cool that's not. Actually, I guess it's a cool gun. But what I want to draw your attention to is that right here, I'll freeze this frame for you guys, and it doesn't look as anything special, but look in the background. I'm not too sure if it is, but that looks like the mystery box light. And if it's that far away, it's rather going to have some giant transportation. Like inside the Eisendrache, we had the rocket launch area, test area was pretty far away. But I'm not even sure if that is. I could be seeing things, but if it's that far away, look at those mountains. Look how far it is. My gosh, it's wow. Let's move on. We just see our characters walking through, and then this is the part I want to actually. This is why I mentioned the plane earlier, because now we can see this plane kind of just getting shot down or something like that. I'm not too sure exactly what's happening. It's just, we could have done it, or it's just something happening over the map, because if you remember back to Shadows of Evil, we saw the Mob of the Dead flying over. We couldn't really interact with it, but maybe we shot this out of the air. I'm not too sure, because one theory I did have about this is that this is how we're going to get the Takeo 2.0 out or inside the map, because that's what we kind of did in the Rise of the Rocket, except we shot him out of a rocket. Personally, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but it's just, I found a similarity to it, and it could be. Anyways, again, moving on, we see these, what are they called? Plane routers, I think they're called. Forgive me if that's not what they're called. And we also see a wingtail of a crash plane in the background again. We see the zombies, so this is obviously a playable area, and we can tell this for sure by the next frame. And there's two things we can see from this frame. We can obviously see those propellers, or that's what they're called. Wait, no, I don't know. I'm just going to call them something different every time on accident. But it looks like they'll be used as a trap. But anyways, moving back to that frame, we can actually see the HG40 is actually going to be inside this map. And I really hope this is going to go to the other zombie maps too. It kind of suck if they didn't. And that would just be dumb if you ask me. Because if you guys don't know, the HG40 is a remake of the MP40. And the MP40 is an absolute boss. And my gosh, I really hope it returns. Of course, again, we see the zombies getting torn up by these wings or propellers, whatever you want to call them. Next, we actually see our characters jumping through this area, and I'm not too sure exactly what this is exactly. It just looks like a place to get around the map. Maybe you can't exactly go through the map normally. You have to you wouldn't just open doors, and there's this only one way to the side of the map. Next, we see us actually traveling through this like sewer looking place. It looks like we're underwater. Then we just fly out from underwater and all that good stuff. After that, we see us drinking Juggernog. Holy crap, we're drinking I'm just kidding. Anyways, next we see the Marshall 16 come into play. And this is again a supply drop weapon that most people don't have. And it looks like it's going to be pretty darn powerful. It looks pretty boss. And it looks pretty powerful, but one thing I want to make note of, after he shoots these two people, because it is dual wielding, or not, they're not people, they're zombies. After he shoots the two zombies, we see a drop of the death machine, but we also see another drop. And people are trying to speculate if this is going to be a buildable thing that we just collect and just build a wonder weapon, or that if it's a new drop. Personally, I actually think it's going to be some buildable type of deal thing. That's just my personal opinion, because it doesn't really look like a power-up type of deal thing. I don't know. Go ahead and tell me what you guys think. Next, we see a new trap being used on these zombies, and there's a lot of I don't know what these things are called, propellers? I don't know. Just looks like that's a very popular thing among this map's traps. And also, one thing I want to make note of is that how the trees look in this map. My gosh, they look like they just look so creepy. But besides that, there's not really much to note from in that frame. Next, we see these what am I saying? We see the spiders, and a lot of people were actually saying that they didn't want the spiders in the map, but me personally, they just look like, what the crap? Imagine being chased by that thing. Holy crap, that'd be so creepy. I don't know, tell me what you guys think of the spiders. But also, you can actually see this blue glow around them, so this kind of may be where that earlier where we saw the spider webs around, this could be where they are. And my gosh, those things look scary, but we're going to stop looking at them for now. Next, we see us going underwater, and it looks like we're going to be able to fight zombies underwater, which personally looks like looks like a really bad idea to fight zombies underwater. It's probably just avoid this thing in a hole while you're playing zombies. Well, at least when you're playing this map specifically. I can't imagine why you would want to get into this situation that they are underwater with all these zombies here. I have no idea. Just tell me what you guys think about the underwater mechanic. People have been hoping for it for a long time, but just tell me what you guys personally think about it. And for the last thing, we see the boss zombie. Now, at first, it looks just like a normal zombie, kind of, but it's kind of on fire. Maybe it's not maybe it doesn't start out as a normal zombie. Maybe it does. But then something comes from the ground, pulls it down there, and it looks like maybe that zombie turns into well, the guy kind of turns into this demented looking thing we see in the next few frames. But to me, it actually looks like it actually ate it. If you look at this frame slowly, it doesn't look like it actually became it, but it actually ate it. To me, that's just me. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Of course, we see Takeo's face. Then we see the monster of a boss zombie. Now, again, look at those trees in the background. They look like the absolute creepiest trees I've ever seen. And we can see the boss zombie, of course. One thing I want to make note of is probably how we're going to kill it. We're probably going to have to shoot these pods on the side of it, on its leg, chest, and back kind of type of deal. Which the one on top that looks kind of on its back seems like annoying to shoot, of course. It looks like a hard place to shoot. But hope you guys like this background. What am I saying? Hopefully you guys like this breakdown and you guys enjoyed it and you found something new that you didn't know already. And if I've absolutely missed anything, it'd be great if you guys could tell me that down in the comments. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.